talking about education, yes, nowadays, and what people who are here can do to start, their life in entrepreneurship.
Thank you. As far as education is concerned, I think it could be improved. I think education around the world is too based on facts and exams and not based on teaching kids what's really going on in the world. I was dyslexic and therefore the conventional education didn't work for me at all. But when I was interested in something, and I was interested in trying to campaign to stop the Vietnamese War, which is it's one of the most unjust wars ever. Then I decided to leave school at 15 to start a magazine to campaign against the war. A strange thing for a dyslexic to do, but one advantage of being dyslexic is you become a very good delegator. You find really good people to compensate for your weaknesses. And I think that's been one of the great strengths of Virgin over the years.
What was your biggest challenge when you were starting at that age?
So 50 odd years ago, the word entrepreneur didn't exist. All the companies in Britain were run by, were national, British Rail, British Airways, British Gas, British Coal, and so on. There was nobody to lend money to entrepreneurs. So in order to get my magazine going, I used the school phone box, the old red boxes in London, and rang up advertisers and managed to sell enough advertising to pay for the magazine. The good thing about that is that I still own 100% of the company 50 years later. So I think we managed to self-generate the cash for each of our businesses in advance. But it's obviously tougher than going to a venture capital firms, and there are plenty now to help get your business going.
Yesterday we were talking about a huge crisis. Leadership is something, yes. And it's obvious you were a leader since you were very young. Which are the most important skills of a leader in your concern? Mainly nowadays.
A good leader, and Virgin, we've got many different businesses. What we look for is somebody who genuinely cares about people, who looks for the best in people, who's a great motivator of people, who will lead by example, who praises and doesn't criticize, and inspires people by what he or she is trying to achieve. So if we set up a new business, we make sure we get all the details right, so that the staff don't feel let down by management. And if you give them the tools to do a good job and they're properly motivated, you can, I think, achieve anything.
Why space?
Why space? I'm old enough to remember the moon landing, and in a little black and white television set. And I thought one day I'd become an astronaut. And I waited, and I waited, and I waited. And then in 1991, I went down to the registry office, where you register a brand. I registered Virgin Galactic Airways. I'm an optimist, so I also registered Virgin Intergalactic Airways. And then we set about finding some brilliant engineers to build a space company. In the last year, we have sent 5 of our test pilots into space. And they're the first people to be made astronauts in America since 2009. So it's taken a long time, but we had an incredible year. After the first flight of the first people into space, I wrote a letter to my young grandchildren. I've got 5 under 4. And that evening, somebody made the letter into a little film, which will also give you a taste of what happened that particular day when we first went into space. So maybe we could just run that film.
Nice.
A letter to my grandchildren. My dad, your great-granddad, was an extraordinary man, full of wise words. He would often remind me that life is wonderful, and it is that simple truth which has driven me as I built businesses, raised my family, and embarked upon my many adventures. You are at the very start of life. It is an incredible gift, and it is there for the taking. It will deliver highs and lows, but by living it to the full, by always trying to do the right thing, by keeping a childlike sense of adventure, it will indeed be wonderful. I used to think of space as a destination, but I now realize it's a journey with some amazing milestones along the way. Your lives will be transformed by space, and it will give your generation a planetary perspective on which the future of humanity rests. That we're all in this together, fellow travelers on spaceship Earth. Today we pass the most significant of all, is our beautiful VSS Unity, along with the hopes and dreams of so many, became the first spaceship built for regular passenger service to put humans into space. Virgin Galactic has shown that when you set off on challenging but important adventures, exceptional people come forward to join the journey. People who are consistently by your side and on your side. People who share your dreams and people who help make them reality.
Rolling to the right.
watch Unity and her brave pilots soar upwards into space today, my vision blurred by tears. I could hear your great-granddad whisper once again in my ear. Life is indeed wonderful.
You can see it was an emotional day. How many people in the audience would like to go to space one day? Okay, well, we're going to have to build more spaceships, so we'll hurry up. But I think many of you in your lifetime will become astronauts, you will go to space. There is a new space race on, and obviously, as you can see, it's very exciting.
It's great because I think you received a lot of no's. Many people probably did not believe one day you would achieve this kind of goals, right? And from where you bring this inspiration to turn the impossible into possible?
Yeah, I think that's what entrepreneurs. How many people think of themselves as an entrepreneur here, or want to be an entrepreneur? So I mean, entrepreneurs, by the way, good luck. Entrepreneurs are people who want to make other people's lives better. I mean, if you don't want to make other people's lives better, there's no point in being an entrepreneur, because no one's going to want to buy your products or come to your venues or whatever. And sometimes I think you could, once you've actually sort of built your businesses, you can set really big challenges. I mean, we're building something called Virgin Hyperloop, and having spent 2.5, 3 hours trying to get from the airport to here last night, it would be lovely to get on a Virgin Hyperloop, which would be in a pod at the airport and come into the city in 20 minutes. And I think a lot of people in this room would love that to happen as well. So these are big ideas. They take time. We may fall flat on our face. We may be successful, but we have the advantage that we've had years of building companies, making a bit of money, so we can take these much bigger risks.
And why do you invest in projects that are so risky?
Because I was never interested in money per se. I've been interested in creating things that I can be proud of. Some of those things we created out of frustration, and I think most of those things we created out of frustration. When I was 29 years old, I was trying to get from Puerto Rico to the Virgin Islands, where I lived. And American Airlines decided they didn't have enough passengers on the flight, so they told us all to come back the next day. I had a girl waiting, who's now my wife, and I was determined to get there that night. I couldn't afford to rent a private plane, but I could afford to rent a plane if I could fill it up. So I rented a plane at the back of the airport, I borrowed a blackboard, and I wrote, as a bit of a joke, Virgin Airlines, one way, $39 to the British Virgin Islands. And I walked around all the people who'd been bumped, and I filled up my first plane. And then the next day I rang up Boeing, thinking that airlines were not that good, and asked if they had a second-hand 747 for sale. They were incredulous. What was the name of your company? Well, it's called Virgin, we have the Rolling Stones, we have the Sex Pistols. But in the end, they agreed to send someone to see me. On the one condition that we changed the brand, the name of the airline, because he said that if it's called Virgin, people will assume you're not going to go the whole way, so not a good idea. I wonder whether he translated that properly.
Daniel, funny stories. Yes, you are very well known because you are April 1st stories, jokes. It's like, tell us some very funny story you had. There are some of them are very famous.
Yeah, so April Fool's Day is my favorite day. I love coming up with sort of big April Fool's jokes, and sometimes it backfires on me. But anyway, some years ago, we built a UFO, as you do, and we took off from one side of London, and we flew in this UFO over London at 4 a.m. in the morning. That's the UFO up there. And just as it was beginning to get light, and the radio stations all started broadcasting about a UFO coming to land in London. The police were scrambled, the army was scrambled, and we landed in a field outside Gatwick, and the police and the army surrounded the field. And I had on board a very small person who worked for Virgin in America. He was in an ET outfit. And they sent this policeman across the field with a truncheon, an English bobby with a truncheon in his hand. And the door started opening just like in ET, and we started pumping dry ice. And out came our figure, and the policeman just ran. And the first thing that happens when they landed on Earth. But I was arrested for wasting policemen's time, but they, in the end, they saw the funny side of it.
Aren't you afraid, because you are working at the space and doing these tricks, aren't you afraid to find life maybe before our planet? Aren't you afraid to find it and discover it? Imagine, for example, you have your spaceship in the space and suddenly...
Yeah, so there are billions and billions and billions and trillions of other planets up there. There's going to be billions of other life forms around out there. Whether we'll ever actually be able to get to them is another matter. But you know, they just discovered a planet up there that looks remarkably like Earth, and it's not too far away, and it's definitely got a lot of water. So yeah, exciting times ahead, I think.
Here in Brazil, I work a lot with marketing, and people here are here, you know, to learn a little more about sales, etc. And you are one of the best marketers I know in the world. You did like huge campaigns, and it's amazing, yes. But I know in one of your campaigns and acts, etc., with a balloon, you almost died, right? Tell us about this story and how did that happen?
Sorry, you said the last thing?
Yes, you did this campaign.
Okay,
yes.
I got it. Yes, so when we were building the airline I spoke of earlier, we started with one plane. British Airways had 300 planes. So the question was, how could we survive? And the way you survive if you're very small is you have to be a lot better than them. And in March, I'm delighted to say Virgin Atlantic will start flying between our two cities, between London and here. You have to be better, but also you have to try to get your brand on the front pages of the papers, not on the back pages. So we had a lot of fun pulling the tail of our bigger competitor, British Airways. There was one occasion when the world's press arrived at the wheel, the giant wheel that was British Airways were about to put up opposite the House of Commons. And I got a call at 6 in the morning saying they had technical problems. Well, we happened to have an airship company, and so I rang up the airship company, and the airship company flew over this wheel that was lying flat on the ground, and all the world's press were there. Where is it? There we go. And the airship simply said, BA can't get it up, which again, hopefully can be translated properly. No laughter, so people don't understand. Anyway, it's funny, but there we go.
What made you start Virgin Atlantic 35 years ago?
What made me start Virgin Atlantic? Just the big airlines were pretty bad, and I felt I